right, so this, I guess theoretically, is my last blog post. Let's see. There are a few things that I thought about talking about, but more recently, something that's it's been on my mind for a while is the unemployment rate in America. We are currently above 10% unemployment. That's a big deal. That means 10% of those people eligible to work in the United States are not working. More importantly, it means that 10% of those people looking for a job are unemployed. And obviously we see this has drastic effects on, people's ability to pay back bills, pay loans, mortgages, all sorts of stuff. So the question arises, how do we bring that number down? And the problem now is that number isn't even done rising. It's continuing to rise. Now, we have had some slowed jobless rates. That makes sense, though. I mean, companies have already laid off the people they need to lay off. They've become almost as efficient as they can possibly be in the face of economic Armageddon. We saw that in March when we saw the stock market at record lows. So, what are some creative and innovative ways that we can, bring jobs back to America? I wrote a paper a few months ago, and the title of my paper was simply, "What's going to bring the jobs back?" And in that paper, I really tried to talk about, what are some areas of focus that we can harp on that will really drive job growth in America. The answer isn't so clear, and it's actually being debated right now. In fact, this week alone, Barack Obama introduced an idea to create jobs. A job summit. He wants to have opinions from all over the country about ways we can raise jobs. Now, they've already had the stimulus package, which has it's highlighted projects like the Recovery Act, which is basically rebuilding America. It puts a lot of construction workers back to work with the idea that the government is spending money now to improve America, build roads, build bridges that won't fall, do stuff that is going to strengthen the infrastructure of America. And that's good. That is very good. However, the problem is, once the projects are built, that's the end of it. They probably won't require too much maintenance. If they do, it's going to be minimal in comparison to the amount of people who are employed to build the projects in the first place. So, what are some things that we can think about that will really drive innovation and creativity and build jobs into the future? Well, ultimately, the only thing I can see on the horizon is green energy. If we can really make green energy a priority, and to be honest, I'm not sold on climate change, global warming. I'm not, it might be real, it might not. We've only been taking records of temperature, and we've only had the tools to take accurate measurements of temperature and weather effects for a relatively short time, especially when in comparison to the overall timeline of the Earth. So who knows what really happens in the Earth cycle? For all we know, Phoenix could be underwater a couple hundred years from now. Who knows? Maybe that's just a natural process. Maybe humans really don't play a huge effect in that puzzle. Maybe our piece is limited. But green energy, regardless of whether or not you believe in global warming, is something that America especially can benefit from. We export so much money out of this country on foreign oil that it almost seems like a no-brainer. If we can cut down our exports, or our imports of foreign oil, excuse me, I meant imports. If we can cut down our imports of foreign oil, then that is a plus in America itself. Not even touching on the fact that green energy will create jobs. That, I think, is an issue that will be touched on in the next couple months, especially as we see the jobless rate continue to tick up. So I think that is, for this week's blog post, I think that's enough. I think that alone is just enough to inspire some kind of thought, generate some kind of opinion, and get some kind of creative juices flowing. So I'm curious, if you listen to this, what are some ideas that you have in this environment? No idea is bad. So if you have any, feel free to share them.